Last week, I gave you the 7 reasons why you get sexier when you cook for someone else. Well, on today's Carefree Cooks Code, I'll offer some ideas on what to cook for the romantic result. On the Carefree Cooks Code today. I'm Chef Todd Moore, and this is the Carefree Cooks Code, every Tuesday live at noon Eastern. Here's our challenge. How can home cooks cook freely with creativity, confidence, and pride while ignoring recipes and still impressing themselves and others with what they cook? Well, the answer is found in becoming empowered with how cooking works, using dependable and repeatable methods of cooking that work for any ingredient, for any diet, and any desire, just like chefs do. And we'll know we've cracked it when everyone sees cooking as an exciting and rewarding way to improve their relationships, their lifestyles, and their health through better food and cooking. This is the Carefree Cooks Code. Hey, welcome back to the Carefree Cooks Code, everyone. There we are. It's a free public weekly show for the methods, the techniques, the insights into better food and cooking. And of course, we're live every Tuesday at noon Eastern, right here on my Chef Todd Moore Facebook page on Facebook, of course. If you want to get an email reminder of when I'm going live, what the topic is, what we're talking about, you should go to webcookingclasses.com/live and sign up for the email alerts there. And if you want to, flame on! Flambe! If you want to see what I'm cooking and how I did it, follow Chef Todd Moore on Instagram as well. This is my sexy pudding flambe. It's Jell-O pudding out of the box. I crumble graham cracker in the bottom of it, and then I put a marshmallow, and then I pour the hot pudding over it, and it like melts the marshmallow, and then I pour rum on top of that and light it up. And so there's your first sexy idea. Basic pudding. If you can make Jell-O pudding out of the box, you can make something a little sexy. Keep your long hair away from it. Keep a fire extinguisher nearby. How do I think these things up? Well, I'm a carefree cook. I create my own recipes. I bring friends and family together. I learn every time I cook. I create my own cooking style. It all happens once I start practicing pro methods and I wind up loving my cooking. Hey, Carefree Cooks everywhere. Always so glad to see you. There's just been so much going on lately. It's so cool. I don't know if you were at Saturday's lab. It was twice as good as the last lab. And the next one we do on March 5th is probably going to be twice as good as that. We get better and better and better. I ask myself, what did I do well? What could I do better? Anyway, but we're together today because this coming Monday is Valentine's Day, and I want you to make a romantic meal at home. This year is different. You know, in so many ways, it's different than a year ago, different 2 years ago. Some of these ways obvious, some of them not obvious. Restaurant industry not doing real well, not recovering from this. So it might be time to take advantage of what has happened in your life over the last few years, how it's changed. Cuddle up, stay home, make the most romantic Valentine's Day meal at home. And I've got some ideas for you today, okay? This is not a class today. I'm not teaching anything. It's like speed round on the game show. Okay, speed round. I'm going to throw so many different ideas at you. You might want a pen and paper to write them down. You might want to just come back and rewatch the video so you can stop and start it. I've got some videos for you today that are going to show you step by step, so it is really rapid fire. But first, I got a true or false for you today. Here it is. Tell me in the comments section below this statement: aphrodisiac foods are myths. They have no basis in science whatsoever. Tell me in the comments section below, is that statement true or false? Woo! The Carefree Cooks Code today is all about communicating love, kindness, generosity, sensitivity through the food you cook. Did you ever think that you communicate that much by cooking food for someone else? Kindness, generosity, sensitivity, intelligentness. So I can't really call this a lesson today because I'm just going to show you pretty much the same methods that I've showed you again and again and again. There's nothing different today when it comes to methods of cooking, how you cook. But what I want to happen today is that you will become inspired in some way by some idea I show you or a fraction of an idea that I show you, and then you go run with it. Maybe there'll be something that I share with you today that you think, Oh, my wife or my husband would love that. That's right up their alley, I think, right? And then you might start thinking, oh my goodness, if I made that for them, that would be in a really amazing evening, right? A great meal. It comes down to your attention, your curiosity, your creativity that I'm hoping to stimulate today. So, would you like some great ideas for Valentine's Day? Not high-level stuff, not difficult stuff. Some of them might call on quite a bit of the skills, but they're the skills that you've already learned in web cooking classes. They're the skills that we practice when we get together live on Zoom now. They're the ones that we just hone over and over again. I try and get better and better. And, I'm going to show you some plates of mine today. And it's so funny because I chuckle, as an aside, I'm a big Paul Simon fan. And whenever I hear an interview with Paul Simon, he talks about a song that was, I was juvenile. I didn't know what I was doing. And these gigantic, life-saving, changing songs. I'm not Paul Simon, but I'm going to look at some of these plates and go, oh, geez. I would do that much better now. But it's ideas for you. So here we go. Let's start with breakfast. One of my favorite are eggs and fried rice. I also do a Loco Moco. That's in my Breakfast Done program. Loco Moco is something I discovered in Hawaii. It is sushi rice or fried rice, a hamburger patty or like a garden burger, mushroom cap, taro, tempeh, things like that. And then there is fried egg, beef gravy or mushroom gravy, fried onions on top of that. It's the Hawaiian hang loose surfer breakfast, but scrambled eggs and fried rice, really cool. No, that's not the one. There we go. Another one of my favorites, smoked salmon on a bagel. Dress it up with a few capers, put some of the sliced red onion on there. Maybe you can make yourself an aioli, some kind of compound flavor, compound cream cheese, a dill cream cheese. Bring that to your loved one in bed on Valentine's Day. How about a quiche? Doesn't have to be a big quiche. Get a little tart pan. I have these little 4-inch tart pans. The pâté, you can do pâté sucré, which is a sweeter dough, or just like your basic pie dough 1, 2, 3. This is filled with eggs, a touch of cream, brie, and bacon. So you can make these things the night before, put them in the refrigerator, bake them off that morning, and you've got a hot quiche for Valentine's Day breakfast. Or your basic American breakfast. Boy, this is good. Heather and I used to walk about 2.5 miles to Fells Point in Baltimore and get breakfast, and we'd always get the American. Scrambled eggs, streaky bacon, you would call it in the UK, that American bacon. Some toast, some potatoes, good coffee, orange juice. Nice American breakfast. Doesn't even have to be in bed. One of my favorites is the Baltimore Benedict. It's a crab cake, poached eggs, hollandaise sauce. Who needs an English muffin when you've got a crab cake? The Baltimore Benedict is probably what Heather's going to get on Valentine's Day. Don't tell her. One of the things we brought back from Mexico with us, the last trip that we ever took, December 2019, is chilaquiles. Chilaquiles is like breakfast nachos. Corn chips, sauteed chorizo sausage or whatever that you would like, eggs over medium or how you like them, a ton of shredded cheddar and Monterey Jack cheese under the broiler, sauces. The idea is it's supposed to be, if you have chilaquiles divorciados, that is the red sauce and the green sauce. So they get painted red and green. One of my favorite things. Pretend you're at a country inn. And if you came down to breakfast at some nice New Hampshire country inn, you might get pear stuffed French toast. Looks fancy, easy to do. Get a thick challah bread or a Texas toast. Make yourself a custard of egg, a little bit of milk, and a few dashes of vanilla and cinnamon. And then the pears are just diced, sauteed, and I melt cream cheese on them. Put that on top. Really easy. Something a little more difficult. Let's go even further. Lobster Benedict. As long as we're in New Hampshire, let's keep driving to Maine and get a real cheap lobster. They sell lobster at the gas stations, in vending machines in Maine, right? That's what I've heard. So they're really cheap. They're everywhere. So you can just take that and throw that on top of poached eggs with some hollandaise sauce. And don't forget the bubbly. One of our favorites in this house are my popovers. Popovers, Yorkshire pudding, you might call it. But if you have a tall, thin popover pan, this is a hollow egg muffin that we smear strawberry jam or jelly or jam. You call it what you want. Reduced fruit thing. Okay? So that's breakfast. You got it covered. It's not even 10 a.m. and you've expressed your love, your admiration. You've shown your sensitivity, your creativity, confidence. Suddenly you're feeling really, really proud that you demonstrated those things to your loved ones. But, there's other stuff you can do when we get to dinner. Let me give you some dinner ideas. One of my favorites is any kind of stuffed chicken. Once you learn to pound the chicken flat, you can put anything in it and roll it up. No toothpicks needed, no string needed, because one of the 4 effects of heat on food is coagulation of proteins. So a chicken breast will grab that stuffing. You don't need to put that other stuff with the stuffing. But I'll give you the example of asparagus stuffed chicken. I take boneless skin on boneless chicken breast, took the skin off and removed the skin. I'm going to lay it on a sheet pan, dust it with some olive oil, salt, and pepper, broil it so it gets crispy, and you'll see that as garnish at the end. Pound your chicken breast flat. Take steamed asparagus. Anything that you put inside a protein has got to be pre-cooked. It's not going to cook in there. So steamed asparagus that are already soft, and a stick of your favorite melty cheese, cheddar cheese or Swiss cheese. And the reason I cut it into a stick, you can see for the shape of the chicken breast, but I'll also put that stick cheese in the freezer so that it puts it behind the starting gate. You ever do a stuffed thing with cheese and it all melts out? Freeze the cheese, and you won't have a problem with that. Just roll it up. Like I said, stick the underneath. Go ahead and roast it. I garnish it with the crispy skin that comes out of the broiler, and there it is. It gets a nice white sauce. You want to get even fancier than that? I've got a quick video for you. This is something from our Carefree Cooks community. If you are a paid tuition member of any of my courses, you have a free membership in our Carefree Cooks community, and this is below the welcome video. You can always find it there. How about some really fancy lobster American? Get ready to take notes.
Someone reached in and grabbed it. What a raw lobster! What lobster? What lobster?
And then there's lobster American. That is flavor inside of flavor, reduced and added with flavor. It's really incredible. Another thing that you can do, which shows your organization skills for your loved ones, is a stir fry. Takes a little bit of prep. What do I got here? Mushrooms, garlic, shrimp, green onions, jarred plum sauce, jarred soy sauce, beef broth, and ramen noodles or chow mein noodles that you can just take right out of the pack. Add some sesame oil to a hot stainless steel saute pan. Saute the garlic first, get it really, really aromatic. Throw the mushrooms in there. Saute the mushrooms in the sesame oil with garlic. The mushrooms will start to release their liquid as well. That's when you can put the shrimp in there. The shrimp are going to take on that flavor, and the things in the pan are going to take on shrimp flavor. I'll put in julienne carrots. Now, here's the thing. Carrots are so much harder than any of this stuff, they're never going to cook in a stir fry. So they're steamed ahead of time to the softness that I want. Then we're going to add a flavorful liquid. I think I had shrimp broth there, or even chicken or vegetable broth. And now basically we're poaching all of those ingredients, the shrimp as well. Throw in those ramen noodles or chow mein noodles, a good squeeze of lime juice to give it a tartness. And there it is, mounded up on the plate like pasta. That's a stir-fry chow mein thing that just looks so fancy, but it really just takes more knife skills than anything else. I see when we talk about romantic meals and holiday meals, I see so much like prime rib and filet mignon and really expensive cuts of meat. But if you know good cooking methods, some of these long, low, slow cooking methods, you don't have to spend a lot of money on a good cut of beef. You can take something cheap and turn it into something that pulls apart with the fork. I'm going to show you 2 videos that use that long, low, slow process now to make a really cheap cut of beef or pork into something really, really good. The first is a bavette steak. Here it is. That was incredible. But again, a bavette is like a flank steak. It's not very expensive at all. It probably cooked in the video I wrote a while later. It probably cooked for an hour, hour and a half, maybe two. And the key to that is those dark roux cubes. We talk about that all the time in our community. Oh, I'm back with champagne. Cool. Let's see another example of that with ropa vieja. Oh yeah, I forgot about the maple bourbon sauce. That's really crazy good. But a breading procedure can be used on anything that you want. Anything that you do. Flour, egg, crumb, breading procedure. All right, speed round. We're running out of time. Here we go. This is what? Beef pad thai. Pad thai noodles, sauteed beef. The key to this dish is making the sauce ahead of time. My sauce is generally soy sauce, brown sugar, mirin, ginger, garlic, and I think I said soy sauce, and reduce that by half until it's like a syrup. Then just the stir fry that I showed you, and you pour that thickened sauce over it. It's incredible. How about a pad thai? How about a chicken tikka masala to follow that? This is a coconut sauce that really doesn't need to be thickened much, but you can do a basic saute, deglaze with coconut milk, Add tomato paste as your thickening agent, and you can make a pad thai. Do something a little creamier. How about a white sauce, a chicken broccoli Alfredo? Let's go down the road of trying to recreate your favorite Italian restaurant that either isn't in business or they can't find anyone to work there, so it's terrible. How about chicken parmesan? Use the 3-part breading procedure that I just showed you with your favorite crumbs, saltine crackers. I used to use, one of the only times I used the green cylinder sawdust cheese, Parmesan cheese, you know what I'm talking about, is to mix with flour as a breading. Make your own home into an Italian restaurant. We've already talked about all kinds of stir fries and Asian meals. They're aphrodisiacs. Use that stuffing procedure I showed you, but instead of asparagus, how about goat cheese and spinach? Go Mexican. Enchiladas, burritos, tostadas, all these things, anything sauteed, wrapped in a corn or flour tortilla and doused with sauce. How about some etouffee? Let's go spicy. Spices are an aphrodisiac. You increase the heart rate. You expand the blood vessels, just like when you're in love, right? Or get cheesy. Are you more of a cheesy lover? Then you're going to be mac and cheese. Make the best cheese sauce. Go ahead, spend a little bit of extra money at the cheese shop and get that really fancy French cheese, the thing that puts that extra touch on it. Or do tostadas. The chilaquiles that I showed you for breakfast, instead of the eggs on top of it, you can do shredded chicken, shredded pork, tofu tostadas even, with avocado, diced tomatoes, black beans, and a whole bunch of cheese. Maybe romance to you is pizza night. Take out my 18, 10, and 2 formula to get a really lean, bready crust, or use my non-dough formula of 20 ounces and 4 ounces of yogurt in it that makes it a lot more tender and more cracker. You want to get fancy? A lobster tail, drawn butter, twice baked potatoes. How about from our first lab? There's your spanakopita. Take that out of the freezer from lab number 1. You could serve that up as something romantic, especially if you did it with your loved one. How about some mahi-mahi, nice piece of local fish, or drive a little further to go to the farmer's market or something, get a nice piece of fish and serve it with spicy Szechuan noodles. Oysters Rockefeller. Oh my goodness, how much more romantic could it be? And what is considered the number 1 aphrodisiac food? Put some sauteed spinach on top of an oyster and serve it with a nice champagne. Or scallops. It takes some skill to sear those scallops and still keep them soft on the inside. I love to serve those in an Asian fashion as well, with fried rice or something really kind of spicy. And lastly, I do a Szechuan beef dish. I mentioned the sauce that I make before. I'll mention it again. Soy sauce, brown sugar, which is actually the thickening agent in the sauce. Soy sauce, brown sugar, mirin, ginger, garlic, and I don't know. Oh, sriracha if I want to make it spicy, things like that. And then simmer that down to almost nothing. Let's go for dessert. How about it? We're bringing it in. How about a banana bread ice cream sundae? Don't just put ice cream and hot fudge. What can you put under the ice cream and hot fudge? Is there a favorite cookie, a slice of bread that you made? Cookies? Who said cookies? Did someone say cookies? Oh, cookies, chocolate chip cookies, fresh out of the oven. I've shown you how to do my triple chocolate chip cookies lately. How about just go full-fledged hot fudge sundae? Make yourself a nice hot fudge sauce. It's easy to do. You don't need to buy them. I do a banana pound cake, a pound cake with sliced bananas and a chocolate whipped cream. Heavy cream, powdered sugar, cocoa powder, either whipped by hand. I used to do it that way, and now I got my power tool, but you can make a chocolate whipped cream as well. My favorite dessert is called a Delaware Square. I grew up on Long Island where they used to have the Howard Johnson restaurant. My mom and I and my sisters walked down to the Howard Johnson. Pound cake, vanilla ice cream, hot fudge whipped cream, Delaware Square. Make some crepes together. What could be more romantic than pretending that you're in Paris and you're making strawberry crepes? Or reenact something from your childhood. Do chocolate dipped strawberries, tempering chocolate, 2/3 chocolate melted, 1/3 of that weight to reconstitute it, and it will come back to a hard shell. This is my Suzy Q that I was talking about. 2 chocolate brownies, whipped cream in between, and all kinds of coconut and nuts all over it. All right. Speed round is over. That's about 30 minutes. I went over a little bit. How many ideas for Valentine's Day now did you get? Watch this video again, like it, share it. And you know, one of the great things about being able to make any of these dishes is that you don't need a recipe for any of them. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, so you see how it just kind of rolls off my tongue. Saute method, deglaze with, thicken with. But that's how you should be thinking, not searching for a Valentine's Day recipe, because that's not nearly as romantic as you doing it, being proud of it. So if you're looking for a recipe for any of these things, stop wasting your time. There is none. Once you find your favorite dish for romance and you imitate the method, but you substitute the ingredients that you want to eat or you have to eat for your diet or your desires. Repeat the dependable method, but change the ingredients each time. That's how you get truly free in your kitchen. Quickly, the true or false. Are aphrodisiac foods myth? That's false. They are absolutely true. There are foods that you can eat that dilate your blood vessels, that quicken your heart, that dilate your pupils, or that act on your brain because you think they're true and they have the same result. Yes, aphrodisiac foods are true. And if you know someone who'd like to put a little more sexy in their cooking, please like or share this video with them. I mean, come on. Who doesn't want sexier, right? They'll appreciate it. And speaking of aphrodisiac foods, there are specific foods that can turn you on. It's true. And if I knew that, I would definitely want to put those foods in my cooking and use them for Valentine's Day this coming Monday. You can find all the answers in my latest free online class. It's called Romancing the Kitchen, the Foods and Techniques to Create a Romantic Restaurant in Your Own Home. Find the class date and time that's right for you at webcookingclasses.com/dinner. Thanks for being with me today, everyone. I hope I gave you a great idea to have a really romantic Valentine's Day. Until then, it's Chef Todd Moore reminding you that there's a method to your romantic cooking success.